Hey guys, it's Quinn. In episode 20 of the fundraising series, we're going to be taking a look at a film which was completely oversold by its excellent trailer, 2018's The Mule. The Mule stars Clint Eastwood as Earl, an aging businessman who gets roped into the drug smuggling business, and Bradley Cooper as Agent Colin Bates, who's pretty much just on Earl's behind the entire time. In terms of performances, Bradley Cooper's fine, but it isn't really breakout just because his character isn't that interesting. But Clint Eastwood in this film is excellent. His character Earl is a character that you both love and just shake your head at the same time. Clearly a great guy deep down, his conscious decision to put business ahead of family makes him both loved by his coworkers and seemingly outcasted by those that should matter to him most, that is, obviously his family. It's a tough balancing act because you want the audience to sympathize with the conflicting emotions that both his coworker and his family have about him. Clint Eastwood, in both acting and directing the part, I think balances the love that his coworkers show to him, but also the anger that his family feels towards him quite well. I'm a huge fan of Clint Eastwood in general, and I think that this film is no different. The rest of the cast, I think, is quite excellent. Of particular note is Diane West, who plays Earl's wife, Mary, in this film. I would say easily the most interesting part of this film is not the actual drug smuggling that goes on, but the relationship that these two foster throughout. Diane West plays the role as if she were sort of like a disenfranchised wife who can still remember deep down though why she married her husband in the first place. I think it's a smart way to play the role, and as the relationship between her character and Earl's grows increasingly complicated as the film goes on, her playing the role in this way I think keeps you really engaged. In terms of the actual storyline, I think there's a lot to love here. It's completely believable that Earl would get roped into the drug business, and how he justifies all of his actions reminds me a lot of the Walter White character from Breaking Bad, if Walter was 90 years old. Because of this, it's really exciting because Earl is a smart character who, although he's out of his depths, I think quickly learns and develops how to play the game. It's exciting in this regard, and combining this with his family relationship puts Earl into a situation which, near the end, as an audience, you're super geared up to watch it unfold. And credit must be given to Clint Eastwood in directing the front 90% of this film and just building a universe and cast of characters really successfully. That is why what is so disappointing about this film is that for as interesting and complex as most of the characters are in this film, the movie loses all momentum near the end. I don't want to spoil how this film actually goes down, but the universe that is created in the first probably 90% of the film leads to such a stale ending, it's absolutely shocking. And not only stale, but unsurprising. By the time Earl embarks on his, quote-unquote last shipment, it's so obvious how this has to conclude. Like, the character literally can't face any other fate, so the audience just loses absolute interest. It's a shame because I think Clint Eastwood has written films with lesser characters and a lesser plotline which came together more successfully. Gran Torino, for instance, I think is a great example of a film which frankly didn't have as good of characters or a plotline, but the ending just elevated the film. In The Mule, I think you have the exact opposite. I think the characters and the plotline were more interesting, but the ending sort of depresses what was built throughout. Overall, in this regard, The Mule is a difficult film to strictly characterize. For no way is it a bad movie, but the ending in the film leaves just so much to be desired. However, I do think the characters and the storyline as a whole are interesting enough that this film should be watched at least once. There's enough to take away from this film that it is enjoyable, even if it does leave more to be desired, which is why I give it a rating of watch it if it's on TV. This video is sponsored by a resident of Sydney, Australia. This channel is committed to giving every American an equal opportunity in this country, which is why all proceeds will be donated to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Thank you for watching, and remember, black, white, left to right, we're all in this together. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.